Jay Mehta. दीपिका आ गई ना बैक.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everyone. We'll be starting at 11:05. Let's wait for others to join.
Okay, sir.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you
Good
can hear
morning,
me
sir.
well and see
Good
me
morning, sir.
well. Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's get the party started. I'm so happy to see everyone. And So today I'm going to brief you about what we are going to do in this training batch and how we are going to do it. All right. You need to understand that we have a upcoming session. That session applications have already started, and you will be able to fill in the forms up to I think mid-April, 15th April or something. I've shared the notification on Instagram. You need to understand that this batch is only for people I have met, students I have met on Instagram. All right. This is only for the followers of our academy on Instagram. So I understand you all are um, always up to date with Instagram. Okay. If anyone is interested to give this session, you have to personally text me saying, Sir, I want to give this session so that I'm aware that you want to give this session. Others who are not giving this session, it is okay. My target for this batch would be to prepare you all for this session so that we can finish the training in a confined shorter period of time. So we will start with what is RTRA and how your exam and your study pattern will be executed. So, okay, I have a introduction. I have an introduction to what is RTRA. A video is there on Instagram. So I think you have checked it and you know what it is. I'm going to tell you about what is the examination all about. Why are we going to study this and how is this going to help you? How is this going to help you start your aviation journey? Some of you are freshers, some of you might have already gone through a lot of training, ground papers, examinations, and so on. Keeping that in mind, I'm going to keep it universal. Everything that I'm going to teach is going to be from scratch, easy to study. All right. So, my recommendation would be that when we start our classes, you have to have one dedicated notebook with you to make your own notes. And that notebook will be your RTRA notebook. I'll also be giving you all study material that I have that I use for my training purpose, basically a textbook that is made and prepared by me. All right. So, that being said, you won't need anything else from outside. I won't encourage you to purchase anything from outside. The books that I'll share with you will be enough for you to crack the examination. But then I'll also give you further study and reading material which will be helpful to you for your second part of the examination. So, what is the second part and what is the pattern of the examination is something that I'm going to show you today in this orientation so that from the time when we start our lectures, you know what we are supposed to do as the end game of the session, which will be your examination. Why are we doing this examination? To get the license. Which license? RTRA license. What are the benefits of the license? Well, we will discuss that in time. It is one of those aviation qualifications that is very easy to get if you prepare well. You don't have to invest much because this course is free for you. You'll have to just pay 500 rupees for your examination to WPC. All right. And that's all. Correct. And your eligibility won't require you to appear for a computer number or apply for a computer number either. If you get this license, the validity for this license will be 65 years, which we call it as a lifetime validity. You also get the license for 20 years validity, depending upon how much fee you are paying for the issue of the license. But okay, everything else will be taught to you. Let's just understand what is this examination going to be about. So what is RTRA exam and why are we studying this? We need to understand we are studying for the examination to pass the examination in our first attempt. Hardly a few people are able to crack the exam in their first attempt, but there are people who crack the exam in the first attempt. Now you all of y'all, I would want you all to try and crack the exam in your first attempt. It doesn't mean you have to appear for the exam in the upcoming session. You can appear for the exam in the next session also, depending upon how confident you are. But don't waste an attempt. Just go crack the exam and come back. That should be your intent. That's how I cleared my RT. All right. That's how I encourage my students to clear my RT. Remember, I was in your shoes one time. I didn't even know what RTR was. Slowly, I got to know. All right. So, that being said, let's just quickly check what the structure of the examination. I'm going to make it simple. So, we are talking about step one on the day of examination. All right. This is where your English, what we call as aviation English, comes in picture. Step one, also known as part one of the examination. What is this part one of the examination? This part one of the examination is what I'm trying to upload on Instagram, which is known as the transmission technique. So, what is part one? Part one is transmission technique. Now, what is transmission technique? This means how to talk over aviation radio. This means how to talk over aviation radio. Now, I'm talking to you in English. You are able to understand. How will I talk over the radio network if I'm flying an airplane talking to an ATC? Of course, I'll use English, but that English and this English has some difference. And that difference is what we need to learn. And in the examination, we need to talk in that English, which is known as aviation radio telephony. So, transmission technique includes aviation radio telephony. Now, this aviation radio telephony starts with the alphabet. The alphabet is a collection of letters A to Z. In English, we say A, B, C, D. But in aviation radio telephony, we say Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta. This is the first thing you start learning when you're learning about aviation radio telephony. And slowly, after learning ABC, there is Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and so on, you start learning how to read numbers, how to read larger numbers, smaller numbers, and how to report your altitude, how to report your position in terms of letters and numbers. Once you learn how to read letters and numbers, then you will learn how to shorten your sentences using phrases, something known as phrases. So in aviation radio telephony, number one is alphabet, where we have A is alpha. So you will never read the letter A as A, but you'll start reading the letter A as alpha. There will not be anything known as A. It will always be alpha. And so on. Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, and so on. All right. Second will be numbers. You need to understand that in aviation radio telephony, you will learn that in aviation radio telephony, we only have numbers starting from 0 to 9, and 9 is read as niner. So, what if I have to read a number which is 1010? So, I'll read it as 10. I will not read it as 10 because in RT, you only have single digit numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then niner. 9 is the only number which we pronounce differently in order to avoid any confusion. And these are just one examples. Niner. Okay. RT numbers are only from 0 to niner. You will read 10 as 10, like this. This is what you'll start learning. This initial phase for any students, in my experience that I've seen, tends to get a little boring. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach all this boring stuff in just the first session, and then we'll practice. So the first session we'll learn all this stuff, how to make up the language. In the second session, we'll only practice before I start teaching you more content for the third session. All right. The key to clearing RT is a lot of practice. Only then you'll develop the fluency. Although I had cracked my exam in the first attempt, okay, I'll share this story with you. When I got a job with Jet Airways, my initial job was to handle the ground movements of the aircraft because I had an RT license. That's how I got into the industry soon after my graduation and all my studies and everything was done. And I realized that I saw these two people, and there was not a pilot in the cockpit, but there were engineers in the cockpit, and they were waiting for me. And I was just a beginner. Although I had learned RT, I had the license, I didn't know how to talk. I really didn't know how to talk, and I was so nervous. And I fumbled because I didn't have any practice, right? And the seniors were so nice. They said, take your time, learn. Then they assigned me with some existing engineer who had an RT license. I went on with the engineer. She was a lady on 2 flights to observe how she was talking over the radio. And that taught me so much that all that I've studied came back to me. It's just that I needed practice. I needed someone to talk to. So, what I'm going to do with you guys, I'm not just going to put you in the examination after the coaching is over. In between, we'll make sure that we get to practice before we go to the examination so that we don't waste our attempt. So, remember, practice is the key. We need to practice talking to each other in between you guys, with me, and so on. The third thing that you learn in aviation, radio, telephone will be phrases. The most important thing, the more phrases that you will use in your examination part 1 transmission technique, the higher marks will you get. Now, what do you mean by phrases? If I say, if I tell an aircraft, Air India 123, Mumbai Tower, report when ready for taxi. So I am the ATC. I'm telling an aircraft who has a call sign Air India 123 to tell me if they are ready for taxi. All right. Now the aircraft will reply, the pilot will reply, this is you in the examination, or this is me in the examination if I am a student appearing for the exam. Mumbai Tower, Air India 123, affirm. Affirm means yes. So why did I not say yes? Why am I saying affirm? Because affirm is the phrase, a standard aviation radio telephony phrase that you have to use everywhere. You have to say yes. So you cannot say yes, but you have to say affirm. Similarly, for no, wherever you have to say no over the radio, you will say negative. You will not say no. So, what are these phrases? These phrases are words, a set of words that you have to use in your daily life when you're talking over the radio. Whenever I want to talk to someone, let's say I have a student named as Rohit PK. Now, I don't know. I have never met Rohit. What if I call Rohit from an unknown number? He won't know who's calling him. So, the first thing that I'll say is Rohit Alkesha. Correct? First, I'll take his name, then I'll take my name. Now, this process also happens in your aviation radio telephony, and it is known as raising the station. We raise a station to make the initial conversation. How to raise the station? Take the other person's name, take your name. That's it. It's like knocking on someone's door. Now, until and unless Rohit, if he was an ATC or an aircraft, and if I'm an ATC or an aircraft trying to raise a station, if he does not give me a standard phrase, then I cannot initiate a conversation with him on a particular frequency. What is that standard phrase? It is go ahead. So if I want to raise a station, I'll say Mumbai Tower, Air India 123. I'm just knocking on its door. This is my first call. I've just got into the aircraft as a pilot. I'm doing my checks. I want to check everything and I want to initiate a conversation. This is how I initiate a conversation. All right. And then eh, the tower will say Air India 123, Mumbai Tower, go ahead. Only when he says go ahead that I will start with my request or message or anything else. In case he doesn't say go ahead, then he will say something else. He will say stand by. He will say stand by. Guys, write down your questions in the chat. I'll answer the questions in the last 5 minutes. So phrases will mean yes will mean affirm, no will mean negative, Roger means okay. Roger does not mean a yes or no. A yes will only mean when you are saying affirm, a no will only mean when you are saying negative. When you say Roger, it means okay, I've received your message, but it's neither a yes, it's neither a no. Do not take my word for it. I've just received your message. It's like me talking to Manoj. Manoj, see you at 5 o'clock on Zoom. So if Manoj says Roger, it means he has received my message, but he's not said a yes or no. Because it's a future request, Manoj can simply use another phrase instead of an affirm or a negative, which will be known as Wilco. Will comply with your request means Wilco. So if I'll tell you that at 5 o'clock, report, you can simply say Wilco. You don't have to say, okay, sir, I will report to you at 5 o'clock. So that big sentence that Manoj will tell me, okay, sir, I'll report to you at 5 o'clock, or affirm, sir, I'll report to you at 5 o'clock. He can simply use a short phrase given to us, which is Wilco. So this is the importance of phrases, and your emphasis should be on the phraseology more than anything else. There are much more, a collection of around 25 to 30 phrases only, which we need to master and use. All right. You will notice that as soon as you begin with your first, second, and third lecture for the training batch, you will get a hang of using these phrases. So from now on, whatever communication you have to make with me, at least you will use these four phrases. And one more, pass your message. It means go ahead. And one more, wait, I will call you. It means stand by. So, like now, Arjun left me a message saying, sir, what is the meaning of Roger that? I could have simply said, Arjun, Alkesh here, stand by. It means, wait, I'm going to call you and I'm going to give you a reply. So, we'll see. This is what you need to keep in mind, that this is how you'll start learning your transmission technique. Once you get a hang of the language, after that, we will see how to do certain procedures like requesting a startup, requesting a taxi, requesting a takeoff, ATC clearance, climbing, cruising, diversions, emergencies, pan, mayday, descent approach, landing permission, runway closure, problems during landing, problems during takeoff, fire on board, passengers sick. The situations could be anything. We will learn a set of situations that are most commonly asked in the examinations, but you need to understand the the question paper in the examination could give you some situation that you might have never studied. What does that mean? It means use your common sense, use your aviation telephony the way you have learned using phrases and everything, then think what you will do as a pilot and just communicate in that way. You should never get stuck. So, when you are learning part one transmission technique, you have to be very fluidic. All right. You have to be very flexible. This subject is very practical. This is not like any other subject where you will just mug up things and go and give the examination. That will cost you around 5 to 6 sessions before you finally clear the examination. Imagine there are students who give the exam 4 times, 5 times, 6 times before they clear. Why? Because nobody taught them how to actually approach. But I'm going to tell you, and I'm telling you how to approach. So all you need to do is make the most of this and do as I say. After that, use your intelligence to make it better. But all I'll request you to do is just follow what I'm saying till the time you get fluency in how to use the language. That's all. And then after the language is done, part 4 will be situations. Situations could be like this: request, startup, request, landing, emergency calls, and so on, etc. The n number of situations. I've carefully divided the situation so that, according to me, I feel that the pattern that I have created will really help you understand it. Segregation, segregation, segregation. We'll come to it. Your question paper will be of 100 marks. This all is your part 1, okay? You will be given 25 minutes to perform the part 1 question paper, and your part 1 question paper is going to be completely practical. It means they will give you a set of charts, something that I'll share with you. They will give you a question paper. On the question paper, there will be a flight plan. I'll teach you how to study the flight plan. I have seen other institutes and everywhere else, nobody actually teaches about the flight plan. They just say it's a question paper. But the question paper is actually a flight plan, a real flight plan, which you need to be aware of in case you want to appear for further ground papers in the future. So we are going to strike, at times, we are going to strike two birds with the same stone wherever we can, okay? It's possible. So 100 marks question paper pattern looks like this. This will be a flight plan. Understand the flight plan properly, only then you will pass a part 1. If you don't, then you will fail. After the flight plan, there will be series of instructions. Use of aviation radio telephony is important. Use of phrases is important. Don't go on to the next question unless asked to go on to the next question. Follow the sequence, etc., etc. After that, your questions will start. Question number 1, question number 2, question number 3 alpha, 3 bravo, question number 4, and question number 5. Now, these questions will be logical questions depending upon what is happening with your flight as per the flight plan in the question paper. You will be acting as a pilot in command. You will be the commander of the plane. Imagine, guys, today you have just started learning, and I'm just putting you in the pilot in command seat. You need to have that confidence in the examination, as well as you need to have that patience in the examination. I have seen people panic and sweat because they're so nervous in the examination centers, and they end up making so many mistakes that good students also don't clear part 1. But we do not have to, because have you ever seen a nervous pilot? Would you sit in a plane if the pilot was nervous? You will not. Nobody would. A body language of the pilot will help us understand whether it is safe to fly or not. So, how to crack this paper? You will be given 25 minutes only, but understand, in real life, in real life, although a pilot is conducting a flight for say 1.5 hour or 2 hours, domestic flight, the total length of the conversation with ATC is sometimes not more than 5 to 10 minutes also. They only talk when it's needed. But in the examination, you will be given 25 minutes. So from where I see, you have ample of time. I've had students who have been so smart that they have been able to finish the paper in just 14 to 15 minutes also. It is possible. You have to use your logic in the examination. First, you need to understand the first three parts of your aviation radio telephony. That's it. Now, after 25 minutes, they will ask you to wait in the waiting room. There will be two sessions. One session starts at 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. Second session starts at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Depending upon your admit card, either you will join the morning session or the evening session. In the morning session, there could be 20 students, 30 students, or 40 students. But at a time, the examiners will only take around 5 or 6 students at one time. Others will wait. So if 6 students are giving the exam in the same time, there will be 6 different examiners acting as the ATC for all 6 students. different students, different examiners. So if I am a student, I'll have another examiner sitting behind me, connected with headphones. He'll be the ATC, I'll be the pilot. Similarly, I'll see there will be more students sitting in the classroom behind me or ahead of me. Once all 30 students are done, then they will declare the results for your batch. So if you're in the first batch, then you'll start the exam first, but then you'll have to wait in the waiting room for everybody to finish, all the 30 or 20 or 40 students. Then they'll come up with a list and they'll say, okay, Rohit, okay, Manoj, okay, Viral, okay, Deepika, you guys can wait and others can leave. That's it. So the people who are asked to wait will be subjected to part two of the examination on the same day. Others will have to go and come back in the next session. Simple. That's how it is. So, how do you crack? You need to ensure that in every question, you score at least 60% to 70%. Say if this question is for 20 marks, then you need to score, I think, anywhere around 16%, not less. I'll teach you this strategy. Do not worry. These are all my strategies, and I'm going to share it with you all. If this is over, although the passing is 50%, you need 70% to go through part two, guys, in my personal experience. So do not take it lightly. If you cleared, let's say four students were selected for part two, then in part two, there will be a viva, an interview. They will ask you about radio regulations, radio theory, radio systems. And for people who have done BTech and BE and so on, they will also ask you about basic electronics and basic electricity. So depending upon your background, they will change the questions. In radio regs, you will be asked what is DGCA, what is WPC, and so on. Your Viva will have a minimum of 8 to 10 questions in case you've answered first 2, 3 questions correctly. If you do not, then they will ask you to come back in the next session. Simple. Out of these 8 to 10 questions, you should be able to answer at least 8 or 9 questions to pass in part 2. They will ask you to go. They will ask you to go, and then you'll have to wait for the exams to get over. The next day after the exams are over, they'll put up a list of successful candidates. And from what I have seen, 10 to 15% students pass. So if there are 1,000 students who have appeared for one session, then around 150 to 200 students pass. Sometimes 110, sometimes 180 or 190. That is the ratio, guys. So if you really want to pass in your first attempt, you have to learn properly, practice properly, follow what sir is teaching you. That's it. And then ask questions. All right. So this is about the examination pattern. And I've told you how we are going to study. We are first going to focus on part one. Once I feel that the batch is doing good with the practice and fluency in radio telephony, then I'm going to start with part two theory, where I'm going to teach you everything about part two that they're going to ask you. What is a radio wave? What do you mean by frequency? What do you mean by wavelength? What is HF? What is VHF? Why do we use HF? Why do we use VHF? See, 5 questions there and then. These 5 questions are like piece of cake. But right now we don't know what it is. Some of you might know. Starting from this, we'll reach out to learning about ADF, VOR, what are these instruments, then regulations, what are the different types of RT license, what is the role of DGCA, what is WPC, what is ICAO, and so on. So we are planning to study a lot in a short time, but it is possible only because of that we are going to do it. So that being said, be on the lookout for the new schedule. The tentative timings would be sometime in the evening so that everybody is able to join the batch. All right. Today or tomorrow, you will be getting an email for the schedule, which we are going to start. In case you all have any queries, feel free to message me, call me, or email either on Instagram, either on WhatsApp. You have my number now. You have the email address, not a problem. And I think we only have 3 minutes now. So if you have any questions, quickly ask. And as you know, your questions can also be answered on Instagram, all right? Roger that. Never say Roger that, Arjun, to answer your question.
Yes, sir.
Just say Roger. Never say Roger. It only means okay. Yeah, somebody said something. Who's this?
Sir, I would like to. Yes, it's me, Gaurav.
Hi, Gaurav. Gaurav,
Yes,
instead of yes,
yes.
start
I
using
would like to
affirm.
ask a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Affirm.
Go ahead.
Uh, okay. So, sir, I have a question that, like, when I'm gonna give my first attempt ever in terms of examination related to aviation. I've not given any examination for the all 5 subjects. So my question is, if we appear for this for the RTR, is it a good strategy to be giving the RTR exam in as a first subject ever in the aviation exam series?
It's a very good
or
question.
or does it have any repercussions? Do they not like to see people uh,
It's Gaurav, right? Hello, it's Gaurav, right?
yes,
Yeah, Gaurav. See,
yes,
I train people for everything, okay? And for my students, for my academy, I start with RTR only. RTR teaches you everything about a
Mhm.
pilot's job. Everything from the moment he enters the airport. What are the different briefings that he goes through? What is the flight plan? What are the no times? What he should do before he gets into the flight, and what he should do after he gets out of the flight after landing. This will give you an overview of how your future is going to be like as a commercial pilot. So I think RTR is the best subject to start with. It's the most easiest one. Plus, you don't have to wait for your computer number. And you, if once you have a RT license, even without having your ground papers, your reputation in the field will just go skyrocketing, because people value RT, and it's very tough to create clear RT people who have not prepared well. And there are many students who have not prepared well. And the worst thing is that many ground schools that I have seen, they don't include RT in their syllabus. They don't. They tell students, do it later, do it later. And I've seen students miss on job opportunities because they could not get RT in time. So RT is something that you should just crack before anything else and get it done with, because the validity of the license will be for lifetime. So RT is the best subject to start with for your aviation journey, in my personal opinion. All right. Is there any other question, everyone? It's just 1 minute now. In case you have anything, please drop me a message. All right. I don't have your phone number saved yet, so please write down your name. I do have your email address saved. Not a problem. This was just a simple orientation for you all to know what we are going to do and how. The schedule for the classes is going to be sent to you via an email by tonight or by tomorrow. All right. Any other
sir.
questions? Yeah, yeah, quick. We need to close in less than a minute.
You mentioned something about different questions. So how do they how do they approach this? I mean, I have studied engineering. So do they
It's
are they
okay.
far
You
was
put this question in something called as parking
students
lot.
in terms of being
Put this question
having
in
tough questions?
Gaurav. Put this question in parking lot. We'll
Mhm.
discuss it in next session. All right.